So we have obviously had some massive changes in My Hero Ultra Rumble, a lot of buffs and nerfs. Some of the buffs definitely called for, some of the nerfs a little bit questionable, and then some characters just totally neglected when it feels like they probably should have been addressed, you know? So today we're going to see how the community is feeling about these buffs and nerfs and see if any of these characters from the previous community tier list end up moving tiers, all right? So there was just a ton of changes, right? Tenya got changed, Asui got changed, Kaminari got changed, Yaoyorozu, All Might, Aizawa, Endeavor, Compress, Cementoss, and Ibara. That is a lot of characters that got changed around. Some of them for the better, some of them not so much. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what the community is thinking. So the very first character, Midoriya, it looks like we have 43.9% of people saying now Midoriya is A tier, and then 41% of people are saying that he is S tier. Okay, we only had 41 people vote for this tier list, so if you guys would like to change any of where these characters are placed, I'm going to use this same exact vote here, so you won't be able to vote again if you already voted. Each person can only vote once, but if you want to add your vote to this for next week's tier list, we'll go over this and see if any of this changes, right? So, but for now, it's crazy to me. 43% of people, literally one more person made the difference, want Midoriya to be in A tier. So that means we have to go back here to the tier list and put Deku in A tier, so that's crazy to me. Okay, next character, Bakugo, still overwhelmingly S, so he'll stay in S. All right, Uraraka, we have 43.9 for A, 43.9 for S. People really want her to be an S. I think personally, like, she belongs in S, but since she was in A before, I'm not going to move her because the votes are split. If that vote gets pushed up to S for next week, we'll move her up to S, okay? But for now, we'll leave her where she is at. Next, we have All Might. Ooh, look at this. All Might now is an A tier. Okay, people no longer think All Might is S. All Might was just like, people would argue about that for the longest time. They'd be like, no, All Might is S. He needs to be there. You're wrong. But of course, if we look at the nerfs and buffs for All Might, so here are All Might's skills. His alpha got absolutely nerfed. It decreased damage and decreased the number of bullets. And then the special action reduced the reload speed. Whenever it says reduced, it means it takes longer now to reload. So that was a nerf as well. The only buff he got was to his beta skill, increase the damage in all levels. Like, that's cool, but it's not as easy to use the beta as it was to use the alpha for damage. So they attempted to make it balanced when nerfing him, I guess, but it didn't really work. So now All Might is down here in A tier according to the community or the people that voted. And I'll say it again, if you disagree, make sure you go and vote, okay? I will put the link to this vote in the description of the video. Aizawa, okay, 43.9% of people think he's B, 31.7% think he's A. That's more people than ever thinking he's A tier. We still have 3 people thinking he's D tier. He's not. He's not. Trust me. He's much better now. C tier, I don't know. Aizawa is one of those characters who could be C, B, or A. I feel like now he is not as buggy, but he is a high skill ceiling character, and so people that can't play him just can't play him, right? And that's the way it is. But for now, Aizawa is going to actually go or stay in B tier. I was thinking that was C tier. He's actually going to stay in B tier, okay? Because that is where most of the votes are. So that's fine. For Mt. Lady, we have 27 people saying she's an A, and we have 9 people saying she's in B. So Mt. Lady is now going to go up to A. The community had said before, this wasn't even me, the community had said that Mt. Lady was B tier. So now Mt. Lady is apparently an A tier. Nothing really changed with her, so I don't know why we're now saying she's an A tier, but apparently she's an A tier. So congratulations to the Mt. Lady mains. You got your wish. She's an A tier. And once again, these tiers are not in any particular order. Like, I'm not putting All Might here because he's better than these other A tier characters. I'm not putting Mt. Lady at the bottom of A tier because she's the worst. We're just putting them in tiers, okay? We're not ordering the tiers right now. So yeah, maybe later we'll order the tiers, but not right this second. Cementoss, he got a pretty big buff. So 39% of people say B, and 46% of people say A. So my boy Cementoss gets to stay in A tier. I want to see this boy in S, man. I feel like that was such a big buff for him. Like, go play Cementoss. He feels so much better now with the reload speed on his alpha. It's crazy. He's He's really, really good now. I really like the new Cementoss. All right, and then we have Dabi. 48.8% of people said B. I feel like Dabi is a character that just doesn't really move. They haven't really touched him, and people want the developers to do something with Dabi, but they haven't. So it is what it is, but he remains B. He's decent, right? Compress got changed a little bit, but still that keeps him in B tier, so he's not really moving around either. Compress will stay the same. Kirishima is in A tier. 51% of people think he's A tier. Quite a few people think he's S, and then we actually have a few that think he's B. I don't know, there's an argument for Kirishima to be S tier with his damage, but then again, if you just know how to outrange Kirishimas, they're playing the rolling game, so I mean, I guess as long as you can aim, you can beat a Kirishima, right? You just got to know how. You got to avoid those close quarters encounters and be careful. So I feel like Kirishima being an A tier is fair. A lot of the characters are actually an A tier when the community decides. It's kind of funny. I feel like, you know, you want to put some characters down here and C and D, but they've done a really good job balancing the game. Surprisingly, it's amazing. All right, so Endeavor, 48.8% of people think he is A. So now Endeavor and All Might are on the same tier. We're going to put them next to each other. They'll be best buddies, right? For the longest time, I've been saying this. Endeavor and All Might are kind of similar, so I feel like they should be on similar tiers, and now I guess with All Might's damage reduction, people feel like they are in the same tier, which is fine by me. Ibara is B tier. 58.5% of people think she's still B tier. And so if we look at Ibara, she was already in B tier, and they didn't really change a whole lot on Ibara. They changed her quirk skill alpha, increased the reload speed, meaning they made it faster for the alpha on levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9. And then for quirk skill beta via De La Rosa, increased the number of bullets in all levels. Like, that was a much needed buff for Ibara, but she still suffers from mobility. So if they give her like more mobility, maybe that would be a way to fix it, but it's hard, you know? So Ibara stays in B tier. Momo, 68.3% of people think she is A tier. Like, that's a pretty good consensus by the people that think she's A tier. So she's going to stay where she is. And then we have Kaminari. Ooh, Kaminari's A tier. 58.5% of people think that. 19% of people think he's B tier. So with that, my boy Kaminari moving up. This is probably the most significant buff in the game for Kaminari. Like, it was a big buff for Kaminari. I'm really happy. He's so much more fun to play. So his quirk skill beta increased damage on all levels, which is insane because it's already a massive AoE, right? And then quirk skill gamma, human stun gun, they increased the number of bullets to where now he has extra charges, so he's able to have more mobility. That more mobility makes all the difference in the world, especially early game. And so him being an A tier, I definitely understand it. That is so much better, right? Iida, people think that Iida is now A tier. So Iida is one of those characters who has flip-flop back and forth between A and S. People can't really make up their minds whether they want him to be A or S tier. I believe he also got changed up here. So Iida, they changed his HP down to 250 and his quirk skill Gamma Reciproc Turbo to make up for lowering his HP. They increased the duration time on all levels, which is good, but like, does it make up the difference? Well, apparently people don't think so, and people think that Iida is now A tier and no longer S. But you know, as we get more into playing this new season with the new patch, I guess we'll find out if characters are actually where they belong. A tier is actually so long right now you can't see it behind my camera. Oh boy. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue. Kendo, overwhelmingly B tier, right? So we'll leave her where she is. Nothing really got touched on her this patch. We have Shigaraki. 53.7% of people think he is A tier and 34.1% of people think he is B tier. I would say he's still A tier, so Shigaraki is going to stay where he is in A tier. And then Todoroki, overwhelmingly S tier again with Bakugo. And Toga still maintaining S, but we got a lot more people thinking she is A now, but I feel like she needs a little bit of a nerf. I still think Toga is kind of crazy if in the right hands. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think Toga needs a nerf? My opinion, but she will stay in S tier. And then Tsuyu. Oh, wow. The Tsuyu is probably the most like pie chart we've seen. 8 people think she's S, 12 people think she's A, and 16 people think Tsuyu is now B. Wow, you guys are going to disrespect Tsuyu like that. Tsuyu going down to B. I guess now we can see all of A tier, but wow. They buffed her though. Why are we just now moving her down? Quirk skill beta, ribbit swing, increase the damage when used on the ground. I guess that's not really much of a buff because you're, well, I mean it is though, because you combo, right? You do your tongue, you do your air beta, and then you do your ground beta. So I mean, overall it adds more damage. Why are we moving her down to B? I don't know. I haven't really played her much since the update. I have played her a lot before that. She was one of my mains. I guess I'll have to go try it and see why people are thinking she is now B tier. But if you guys want to change that, make sure you vote. Make sure you vote, because I feel like she should at least be A. That's my opinion. And then at the very end, which system do you play on? We can kind of see what people are playing on and see why they're forming these opinions that we have here. So we have 16 people who play on PlayStation. We have 12 people who play on PC. We have 7 people who play on Xbox, and we have 6 people who play on Switch. So majority of people are console players, right? And majority of them actually being PlayStation players. So I honestly, for the most part, agree with this tier list right now with the buffs and nerfs that came in. The only thing that I really kind of disagree with is Tsuyu's placement and potentially Deku's placement. I feel like Deku is probably still, and Uraraka's. Okay, so Tsuyu, Deku, and Uraraka are my 3. Like, I think Tsuyu should be A. I think Uraraka potentially should be S. It was a split vote, right? So if you guys want to change that, she could be S next week. And then I think Deku should probably still be S, but that's just my opinion, you know? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and like I said, in the description of the video will be the link for this Google form if you guys would like to vote for next week. If you already voted, you won't be able to vote again, so keep that in mind. If you guys enjoyed the video, please go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and thank you guys so much for watching. Peace!
Maybach music. Can anybody out there, yeah?